Let's talk about Shopify 88 compliance in 2026. Shopify store owners have been relentlessly targeted in website accessibility litigation, and a large part of the problem is the confusion that exists in the marketplace. And accessibility vendors and many attorneys are actually contributing to the confusion. So, we're going to go over exactly what you need to do to significantly reduce your risk of being sued over website accessibility. And let's start with this: do not install a widget. Widgets do not make your website accessible. They don't make your website WCAG conformant, and they don't make your website ADA compliant. I have talked to so many clients who have had a widget installed and they've been sued. And there are some plaintiffs' law firms who specifically look for widgets to be installed and then they target those website owners. So, first, it is very important that you do not install a widget. Second, you do not need to pay for a scan. And in fact, you should understand just how limited scans are. So think of scans as flagging approximately 25% of accessibility issues. And scans are mostly the same. Some scans flag more issues than others. Some scans are more detailed, but they're all basically the same. They're using automation to flag certain accessibility issues, and then you get those issues. Now, there's some benefit here. They are helpful, and I would recommend having 0 errors show up on Google Lighthouse, Wave, etc. But that's just the beginning. That's not the end. So scans are helpful, but they're limited, and you don't need to purchase access to a scan. You can use a scan for free, and you can scan single pages. So no need to pay for a scan. All right, what you do need to do is you need to fix the code in your website and the content. So when I say the code, think about the actual code. This is the more advanced aspect of accessibility. When I say content, think of your images, think of videos, think of documents, think of any audio. That also is in play. As you fix the issues in your code and your content and you work towards full WCAG conformance, then you are going to reduce your risk of being sued. Of course, there's a strategic component of this because plaintiffs' lawyers look for certain issues. I know this because I've researched the complaints filed in court, and we can see the same issues are claimed over and over again. And so, what I have is my ADA compliance course that is showing on the screen as option one. My ADA compliance course is $299. It comes with precise instructions, exact how to on what issues to look for, how to find them, and how to fix them. This is a DIY option. A developer will be necessary. You have to have someone with a development background. And this is the fast, aggressive option. It immediately reduces risk, but it is not the optimal option. So this is not for perfection. This is not for WCAG conformance. This is for we need to fix issues right away. Which issues do we fix? What do we need to do? That's what this course is. It's data driven, right? So this is data driven based on complaints that are filed in court. I've extracted those issues that are claimed over and over again, and those are the basis of the course. And the lessons are in order of the issues of the order that I would fix the issues. It's designed for the riskiest accessibility issues. You will get the mindset, the strategy, the understanding of what's actually causing the lawsuits. So if you still feel like this is ambiguous and you're not quite sure exactly what's going on, the course is going to tell you exactly what's going on and exactly what to do. Follow this. You're going to fix the issues that have the most risk associated with them. But it's important to know this isn't for perfection. This is for immediately and significantly reducing your risk, but this doesn't take care of everything. But the course is here to help you get started right away. And that's the best approach, right? To get started right away. You have outstanding risk right now. Do not let that risk just loom. Start to chip away at it and lower that risk. Go from, let's say, 95% to 70%, and then go to from 70% to 45%, and so on. And then there's the audit path. So the audit path is if you are looking for full WCAG conformance, you are going to need an accessibility audit. This for Shopify owners, this is usually going to come in at about $1,500. Somewhere a good range is $1,250 to $2,000 if you're going through accessible.org, which is my company. So this is going to cover about 10 to 12 pages or screens of your website. This is going to be for a desktop and mobile audit. This is thorough. This is going to be for WCAG 2.1 AA or 2.2 AA. With 2.2, it costs 10% more. Remediation will be necessary. So you'll get a report. It will be thorough. It will name all of the issues, but it's just the report. What is next is you have to fix the issues. Again, we can't get away from this. We actually have to do the work. So it's going to take a few weeks. First, you need the audit report. It's going to come back within 2 weeks or sooner. And then you can prioritize the risk inside of Accessibility Tracker. So Accessibility Tracker is a platform where you can track all of the issues, assign the issues to different team members if you'd like, and you can also prioritize by the risk associated. So going back to that data-driven, to the ADA compliance course, I've taken the issues and I've prioritized them and I've scored them with a formula so that you can sort by this formula inside of Accessibility Tracker. So what you do, it's like, think of an Excel spreadsheet where you just sort, you can sort by your associated risk for each issue. So that is available inside of Accessibility Tracker. This is not as fast, but it's more thorough and it's more diligent. And here you're working towards full WCAG conformance. Optional here, you can get validation, because it's one thing for your developer to fix the issue. It's another to know that the issue has actually been fixed. So that's where validation comes into play. There's also user testing. Here you can get someone, a professional who is blind or visually impaired. They can test your website and report back to you. And so that's very valuable documentation. Again, if you are looking for confidence, relief, peace of mind, these are optional but highly recommended, because they can really help with knowing that you've taken care of accessibility. And then you have Accessibility Tracker. Once again, Accessibility Tracker can help your developer because it has AI inside of the dashboard. So if you upload your accessibility audit, the Tracker AI can help your team know exactly how to fix the issues. This reduces the rounds of validation necessary. Of course, AI can make mistakes, but this is really helpful as you're working on remediation, and it can also speed up the process. So these are the two options, and these are going to be from me. The ADA compliance course is my course. I'll link to it in the description. The audit that I'm referring to is from accessible.org. Accessibility Tracker is also under accessible.org. There are other options in the marketplace, but what's key is that you go the manual route, that you actually have an accessibility audit conducted, and you want to make sure that it's conducted by a reputable provider. So if someone's selling widgets, that's going to disqualify them immediately. But either way, whatever path you take, you need to make sure that you are actually fixing the issues, because that is what is going to reduce your risk of a lawsuit. I've talked to so many clients who reach out after they've been sued, and you always want to be proactive and go ahead and just take care of this. It's still the risk still remains outstanding, and we know that so many Shopify owners have been targeted. So it's good to take care of this as soon as possible. And then here I have the more progress, the less risk. And so even if you don't go with the ADA compliance course, even if you don't go with the accessibility audit, take action. The more action you take, the better off you'll be. If you're actually fixing the code, if you're actually fixing the content, and you're steadily working through the issues, that's where you're going to reduce your risk. Again, you want to make sure that you've actually fixed the issue and you've not just worked on it. Working on it doesn't count. The plaintiff's lawyers are not looking for ways that you've worked on accessibility. They're just looking for technical issues. And if they find these technical issues, they are going to sue you if they're looking at your website. So as for resources, if you go to accessible.org, you can enter in the site search. I've covered just about all of the topics there are, including many on Shopify accessibility and Shopify audits. So that is there as well. And then I have this guide here. It's titled A Strong Guide to Shopify ADA Compliance. So if you just search Google for accessible.org and Shopify ADA Compliance, here we have a complete breakdown. This gives you more of the technical side. I've got screenshots, really just breaking down custom themes, using the Dawn theme, what it is, what's going on. I mean, this is all here, just helping you understand what's in play when it comes to accessibility and compliance for Shopify stores. Of course, this is for Shopify ADA compliance. But yeah, this guide is very, very helpful. I will link to it in the description. You can also search for it. And then today I received a comment on one of my videos. This video is actually from, how long ago did I post this? This is from August 2024. So this was my last Shopify video. And so updating from this video, by the way, this video is good. It goes over the guide that I just talked about. But on this video, I received a question from today. Hi, Chris, I have a quick question. I run a Shopify store using the Dawn theme. And since my listings use the supplier's product info images, do I need to worry about their product pages being ADA WCAG compliant too, or is compliance mostly on my Shopify storefront? Also, when you say in your description, reduce the risk of being sued, does that mean I could still be sued even after fully fixing my site based on on the teachings in the course that you offer? I would really appreciate your comments. And then so I responded, and basically here, yes, the product pages matter. So if you have the images, definitely matter. I can tell you that alt text is the single most claimed accessibility issue. So you definitely want to make sure to fix your alt text. And then I talk about how the ADA compliance course is the aggressive approach. So this is where you are just going and you're not worrying about perfection. You're just making sure that you are taking action. And as I said, making progress. Making progress is the most important thing to do. So the course covers the issues that statistically pose the most risk. And then I also say one reason I say reduce risk is because the fixes have to be implemented correctly. So we've talked about that. It's very easy for a developer who's new to accessibility to make a fix, but not completely resolve the issue. So yeah, that's one of the things that isn't always paid attention to. Many people fix the issues, but have you actually resolved the issues? It's one thing to work on them, and it's another to actually resolve the issue. And then I also write, anybody can be sued at any time. So the possibility always exists. However, the course will immediately help you lower that risk. The more lessons you implement successfully, the lower your risk will be. And then once you complete the course, then you can start working on the finishing touches and push towards full WCAG conformance. So yes, once you get through the course, then you can start to really work on making sure everything is pristine. And that's what I'd recommend is like start aggressive and work through as much as possible. And then once you've really reduced your risk, then you can start to work on making sure that you've got every last thing in order. Because again, the course is not for full WCAG conformance. The course is for reduction of risk. And then I state that you want to go for full WCAG conformance. That is the end objective, because then there should be no accessibility issues once you're fully WCAG conformant, at least technical accessibility issues. And so that answers this question. I'll link to this video in the description as well. But if you're a Shopify store owner and you're looking to finally have this under wraps, finally get this over and done with, just read through the resources I've talked about. They get very detailed. If you'd like, go ahead and take my course. Then you'll have an exceptionally good feel for exactly what's going on. You'll know exactly what to do. I talk through everything in detail. So yeah, there's no reason to have this ongoing risk and have this looming over you. It's no longer that expensive to at least make significant progress on this. I mean, at $299, you can work, you can legitimately work. AI can help you along the way. And if you want to go for a full audit, then you can start working towards WCAG conformance even easier, because that's going to be part of the process. We're not going to be working on just fixing the several issues that plaintiffs' lawyers claim. We're going to be working on full WCAG conformance. So making sure that we meet all of these technical requirements. So I'll include the links to the resources in the description below. And if you have any questions about your Shopify store, feel free to reach out to me. My email is Chris, KRIS, at accessible.org. And you can also just contact me at accessible.org.